As many of you may know, Morocco, even though it's a small country, has always been very committed to sustainable development under the leadership of King Mohammed VI, who has committed to achieving 42% production of energy in the country by the year 2020 out of renewables, which is quite a challenging commitment, and we are on track to achieving that. And the next objective for Morocco is to achieve 52% production from renewables by 2030. So in this context, Casablanca Stock Exchange and our regulator could not be on the sidelines. We had to support this strong commitment from our leadership. So back in 2016, when Morocco hosted the COP22, we, together with 26 exchanges and regulators on the continent, signed the Marrakesh Pledge for fostering green capital markets on the continent. At the same time, there was a first green bond issue in Morocco by a Moroccan government agency, which happens to be also the agency involved in renewable energies, Mazen, which is a Moroccan agency for solar energy, but today it also manages wind energy. Now we have 4 green bonds issued by banks, major banks, as well as Mazen, totaling around $600 million. Some of which are issued in local currency, in dirhams, and some of which are issued both in local currency and US dollars. And these issues were largely oversubscribed, especially for BMCE Bank, which was oversubscribed 8.3 times for a $50 million issue. They got 8 times as much as what they requested. And these are being followed closely. I mean, the proceeds of the bonds issued are followed closely in accordance with the guidelines of major agencies which are advising the banks on how to basically monitor green bonds and how the money is being used for the green bonds. And actually, these green bonds are being used mostly for energy production, so renewable energy, but also for mitigation for the agriculture. There is one agricultural bank, the Crédit Agricole du Maroc, which is issuing $50 million to help farmers mitigate basically climate change. As far as SSE is concerned, we have, together with our regulator AMMC, which I would like to thank here for their cooperation, issued an ESG guide for listed companies back in 2016. The AMC has also issued a green bond guide, which is being used today by the issuers. And we have launched just a month ago the first ESG index, which comprises the 10 top performers in ESG in Casablanca. At the same time, together with an index provider, we issued the top ESG performers awards, which was an opportunity to basically recognize the five top performers in different ESG areas. We strongly believe that ESG has to be supported by both exchanges and regulators to be more efficient. To become mandatory, it has to be supported by regulators. Casablanca Stock Exchange itself is not a self-regulatory organization. We are not an SRO, so we need to work on these issues with our regulator, and I must say that we have found a very good cooperation with our regulator, and we're very happy about that. As far as investors, there is more and more interest, both from local and international investors, for ESG compliance. We've seen that there is a good response from investors. We've seen that for green bonds, but we're seeing that also for the ESG guide for reporting. And we have already 5 listed companies which do have an ESG reporting besides the financial reporting. And some companies which are not listed do report on ESG as well. We have 2 companies so far which are not listed which do respond to ESG reporting. And finally, last but not least, Casablanca is supporting through education, mostly SMEs, with ESG issues, especially governance. We have a program which we launched back in 2016 to help SMEs access capital markets and put in place good governance, understand the ESG issues and so forth. And that's working quite well. We have today 58 companies on the program in Morocco, and we have 10 more in West Africa with our friends from BRVM. Thank you very much.